What's happening, buddy? This is Hayden.co. I recently published a book on Amazon, and I want to show you how I, and therefore you, can accomplish this. Now, this book is strictly an ebook. I'm going to build the soft cover later on, but for this video, I want to show you how I did step by step, how I built this book, I uploaded the book, and I have it successfully published on Amazon. For this video, I'm going to assume that you've already finished writing the book. It is all set to go page and text wise. We now have to assemble it and upload it. There are countless videos talking about how to write a book. At the end of the day, this video is about if you've already written and you're now ready to publish this through Amazon. We're going to first download a really awesome tool. They actually make the tool to publish your ebook free. It's called Kindle Create. You can find it on Google or on Amazon, and it's just amazon.com/Kindle Create. I guess there's an extra UTF code over here, but it's absolutely free. I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to use the Mac version, of course. And what I want to do is I want to walk you through how I built my manuscript in Kindle Create, and then we'll go back on the web and show you how I published it and got it actually published online. So let's hide Safari here, and we'll come back and grab the Kindle Create. And I already have my book, so I'm going to open this up. If you're brand new, you'll want to create new and go through this. Also, my book is just text. There's no graphics. There's no recipes. It is a straight manuscript text-based book with some links here and there for fun. In Choose, and here is where the adventure begins. The front matter are not page numbers. They're everything before the actual pages of the book, so they don't count. So I have my title page, and how I work on this page is that I'll enter in my information via edit page. If you're used to using any kind of software, oh man, you're in for a treat. This is not the most well-built software. It works, but man, if Amazon, if you're listening, you're worth like $35 bazillion. Can you make a better user interface? Okay, rant over. So I have my book title, Self-Employed Simplified, a beginner step-by-step guidebook. And I have my name, and if I had a publisher above me, I would put this in. Now, I've already built my select image for a publisher logo. I just put my book cover in. You don't have to. That's just how I built it, and I went from there. So I've got my book cover right here. You can have your Penguin, your Random House, your whatever publishing company you have. In this case, I just redid my book cover. After that, I do have a copyright page, copyright 2025. Again, I can't type right within it, but I can click edit page, and Hayden Adams, year of publication was this year, 2025, all rights, and I did submit my manuscript to the Copyright Office, so the book has been registered with CO. Cover design by me. After this, what I have is my contents. Now here's the really cool part about this. The contents will match your body down below. So when I add a new area in my section, in this case, I already have my table of contents. So to add a table of contents, I would hit the plus sign, and I could add a preference, introduction, prologue, forward, standard page, whatever I wanted to have, a dedication page. This is, again, everything before the contents of your actual book. Now, keep in mind also that the table of contents will take everything above and below, but the page count starts on the body. So notice that the Say My Business name is in the middle of the title page, copyright, introduction, and disclaimer going in right here. So I've got the introduction at the first part of my content, and I felt like this was the intro to the book that I had. Now, also what you can do is yours might look a little bit different than mine because I can set themes to my book. So I can set mine to Modern Classic. I can also set Classic. I can set Cosmos, and I can set Amour going on here. Whichever design works the best. To me, I don't fiddle with this too much because someone who's reading this book, so if I say select, if I go to preview in this design, let me pull over the screen. Keep in mind that someone can change the design just by clicking any kind of font that they want. So I'm not too worried about how it looks in the fact that someone can change this on the fly when it comes to the Kindle design. So again, worry less about the actual design because we're actually not working with print. We're just working with a Kindle ebook. Now, what you do have though, is you do have different page elements on your design. So the first paragraph I have here, notice how it has this 3-line drop cap, and then every paragraph below just looks the same. I can also add a subheading, which I do have later on. I'm going to show you. There's block quotes, poems, separators, opening quotes, and opening quote with a credit. So you can have different formatting options. And if you want to get even more into the details, I can play with these formatting options. Now, to me, I didn't touch a lot of this because, again, I liked the way it looked on Amazon. It did a really good job by default. But that being said, you can really work a whole series of design elements if you want to go forth into your pages. So if we scroll down, I just once again copied and pasted my information, and I have my introduction, and I did add, I believe this was just bold. I did not use a page subtitle. So I just used bold type for this design right here. And now I went to disclaimer because, again, I'm not offering financial advice. This is just recommended. Oh, I've got 2 paragraphs, 2 pairs. I got to fix that. Anyways, after that, I now have my actual title. Say my business name, and I have the same repeating elements. The crucial step is you want someone to see, oh, there it is, new chapter. Oh, new chapter, new chapter. So everything stays consistent amongst the design that I have from chapter to chapter to chapter. Big title at the top, drop cap, going to start reading. And as you get into these chapters, I do have, so this is a subtitle that I have right here. Notice the space and change of design versus just, if I just bold this, there we go, Command B. Notice how the font is different than dues and fees. Again, if you want to bold your subtitles, I did not. That is entirely up to you how you want to craft that. So it's up to you how you want to stress. If you want to design and lay it out the certain way, to me, I just keep things very clean because I'll let the actual reader choose how they want to look at it in a certain respect. After at the very bottom, I don't have any back matter. Again, you can choose what you want for the ending. This is up to you. Books by this author, about this author, books in this series, epilogue, afterword, acknowledgement. I write about me inside the introduction, which is why I didn't have about the author. But this is up to you. You can choose how you want to go about this in this design. So once you're done, what you want to do is we want to save, and then you want to export. The export will export a KPF file or Kindle and print, and I'm going to say export. So once I have this project all laid out, it's now able to then be uploaded to the Kindle Direct Publishing or the KDP website. Let's close this application. Let's go into here, close it out, and we'll come back over to Safari. So in Safari, we've already downloaded the Kindle Create. And again, I've got the example here. What we want to do is we want to head over to kdp.amazon.com. So in here, yes, I know it will be files. Yours might look a lot different because I have 2 books already published. My previous book I published in 2018 was both paperback and ebook. For this example, I have is just an ebook. And again, I'm going to go back later on and lay out a paperback and then publish it that way. But for this example, we're focused on this design. So what I would do is with a new book, I would say create. And in here, I'll take it as far as I can go, and then I'll go back to my example to show you how I laid out my ebook. In Kindle ebook, I'll create the ebook. And this is where the journey all begins. My language here is going to be in English. And what's going to happen is step 1, step 2, and then step 3. English, we'll choose book title. The series, now again, if you have a series of books like we have for Harry Potter, for example, you're going to have this set up to go. I only have 1 book into itself, so that's all I'm going to have. The edition number is version 1, because I might write a version 2 down the road as I change the information with each year or each decade or whatever else I'm doing. In the author section, you'll put yourself. And you'll also add any contributors or other authors or illustrators or anybody else that you've worked with. Make sure you put them in here for the contributors. Now for the important section, the description. If we look right here, I have this big description talks about how I wrote the book and what it's about and the book guidebook covers. And I made sure for mine that this is for the US market and it's written for American business, not for international. I do not understand or know what the UK or Japanese systems are. This is more about the structures of business for the US marketplace. So in my book, I wrote this in here and I wrote the book, so I own the copyright. Side note, you should always register your work. This is my little PSA, I guess, to the Copyright Office, copyright.gov. Make sure if you are publishing a book that you do submit a registration. It's not expensive, but again, you want to ensure that your work is registered by the Copyright Office. It is just a one-time payment. Submit the manuscript and you're off and running. So there's my little PSA for the day. So in here, I would say, yes, I own the publishing rights. This is not a public domain book. And it talks about what your audience is. The primary marketplace for this is going to be Amazon.com. Now, again, if you're writing a book all about French food and you wrote it in French, you're going to want to publish to Amazon.fr. If your book is for Japan, if your book is for Australia, you can then designate that which version of Amazon your book is primarily focused on. So if this is about you're an Australian-based author and you're writing about Sydney, you will then want to focus on the Amazon.au site. But of course, every different Amazon site will still put the book up. Will still put the book up. It's just that which one is primary. So don't worry that it's not going to feature in Amazon from Spain, French, or Germany, but it's going to showcase primarily in which marketplace. In my case, I'm in the USA, so I want Amazon.com. Now, what I want to do is, yes, I have to answer the adult-only question here. I'm going to choose the categories in here for what kind of book is it. Is it a fan fiction? Is it nonfiction? Is it business? Is it self-help? Think of all those areas in a bookstore. Where would your book go? And then for the crucial part in here is that you want to add keywords. Yes, they are optional, but what does your book talk about? I just kind of broke down my chapters to talk about business formation, getting a business bank account, paying your taxes, keeping finances separate. All of my kind of themes in my book, I broke down to the keywords. And at the very bottom, I'm ready to release my book now. I'm not waiting for a pre-order. I just, you know what? Let's just publish it and rock and roll. Let me go back and show you what I did for my book so you can kind of see how mine's laid out. I'm going to continue without saving. And in here, what I want to do is I'm going to edit the book details. Come on. There we go. So again, I got check, check, and check in here. I put all my information in. So series 1, this is me. I have my information here again. I've got the US market flag. I own the copyright. It is 18 plus. Just it's a business book, but I have to set what age. It's not a baby book. So I went all the way up that way. And therefore I can then choose different categories that I want my business book to be in. How to be self-employed, self-employed business, business taxes, business handbook, and also for the content creator economy, I also added in the keywords. And the book was released on February 20th because I just said, I don't want pre-orders, just rock and roll this. So once you click on that, you're going to continue on to the next stage. So this is more of the metadata. And then the next part is actually uploading the ebook content. And I'm not going to touch this. It looks fine to me. And there we go. So what you have to do is that KPF file, mine's just named bookv3.kpf. I'm going to click upload manuscript and look for that KPF file that we had. If we head back to Kindle Create and we export, there's that KPF file. So once I upload it, it's going to kind of process it. We can come back down to the bottom or lower. The Kindle ebook is where you actually upload your cover. And it talks about required cover specifications right here. So do note what you want to set your book up as your numbers might vary from my book. Upload is JPEG TIFF only. I just had a JPEG file. The upload went successful. And I did not use any AI generated content. Please be aware that, do be honest, if you are writing via ChatGPT, or any other different tool that you are using, please disclose this. I always think about Amazon's much smarter than me. They might find it. I don't want to take a chance. In this case, I just shot from the hip, wrote from what I knew, and there is no AI generated content. What will happen is after you get through this top part in this manuscript, it'll run your KPF file and make sure that it looks okay. If I launch my previewer, that Kindle Book e-previewer, it'll actually find any kind of spelling mistakes, any kind of possible issues. I'm hoping I can still find these. Yeah, what happened is that I linked to a few IRS websites, and it assumed that this was not spelled properly. Thereby, it was like trying to say, please change this. I'm like, no, it's a whole link to the IRS. That's just how they do it. I'm not worried about these areas and a few things. Yep, irs.gov. It also pulled this and said, we don't know what tax topics is. You should probably change it. And I'm like, no, it's just a website, so I'm okay. So it'll actually check for quality issues, spelling issues, and image issues on top of that. How cool is that? In this case, I was fine. The quality issues were not a problem, and my spelling issues were just more URLs from irs.gov. Now that I had that, if you do have an ISBN number you have from somewhere else, what it does, and truly is really cool about this, is that I don't need to have an ISBN number to publish an ebook. So I just said, you know what? I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to skip it, and I'll save and continue. Let's go back up to the top, and I'll just flip without saving. And once we get to this page, now we're looking at is how do I get paid? Like, what should I price my price at? Now, for this section, I'm going to do all territories. I guess I could only select individuals. Again, I just said, well, maybe someone who wants to set up a business in America might be in the UK or Australia. So I'm going to keep it for all, but in theory, down the road, but why limit if I don't have to? That's kind of how I feel about it. But if you only want to select certain territories where, I'll admit, I didn't know if there's an option one, but maybe you're writing a book just for Angola and you don't want the book listed anywhere else in the world, then you would select Angola. In my case, I'm going to go back to all territories and I'm all set to go. That primary marketplace is still Amazon.com. And now here's where the royalties come in. There's two choices you have here, 35% or 70%. Here's where you got to think about what's going on here. So for me, I have priced mine at $9.99. Now that's the highest you can price your book at a 70% royalty rate. Now, what it is you get $9.99 minus 70%, but there's also a delivery fee on here. Delivery fees are per megabyte. So if we come back to our pricing page, where is our megabyte delivery fee? It's somewhere in here. I thought I would find it, but let's find the delivery fee. So delivery costs, there it goes. That's what I'm looking for. Delivery costs, not royalties. So it is 15 cents per megabyte. I think I have like 1 or 2 megabytes. I don't have any pictures. So it's a really small file. So I'm just getting charged 15 cents on my publishing. So I'm getting charged 4 cents. Hey, look at that. It's even smaller. So again, it's a very small percentage of delivery costs. If your file is bigger, you will get charged more. So if you're adding, let's find our book page. If you have a 10 megabyte file, no, you're going to get charged $1.50. That's right, $1.50. Trying to do math on the fly, that's difficult. You're going to get charged $1.50 for a 10 megabyte file. So do be aware that costs can come into play when it comes to delivery costs setting up your ebook. So make sure your files are as small as possible inside your project. If you want to go above $99, you're going to go to 35%. So 35% can go all the way up to $200. So let's say I got a really awesome book. I want to sell for $199.99. Whoever's going to buy this, man, I'm living the dream. So what now happens is that royalty is based on 35%. There is no delivery cost because again, 35% do not take delivery costs, but you reduced your overall royalty from 70 to 35. In this case, my giant book for $199, I would get a $70 royalty for every book. Maybe I should price this until everyone watches the video just go buy the book. No, I'm going to go back to 70. 70. Yep, it yells at me, $9.99, and I'm back up and running. Now, what's also great because this is the primary marketplace, it will translate all of my numbers from US dollars to euros to, we also got the Japanese yen, Canadian dollar, and the Australian dollar as well, along with the Mexican peso. So it will automatically change your numbers based upon the countries and the currency involved in that. Once you do this and you're like, hey, we are all set to go, it's time to click publish. And it does take about 24 to 48 hours. And again, I'm not super worried because the Google search does take a little bit longer to come through. Yesterday, I did find the book. This morning, I did not find the book. So it's still kind of working at search engine magic. But once you get the 3 green check boxes, what you get on your bookshelf, whatever I did, I don't want to change it. So I'm going to keep it the same way. And yes, live with unpublished changes, it really does think I published it. I'm not going to touch it. But what you can do in order to give your friends, your family, your coworkers, your students, whoever else you want to give it to, you can click on this view on Amazon and you'll find all the areas. So this book, you can find, I'm not going to type this code. I'm going to go back to Amazon regular. And if I click on Amazon US, it gives me my book right here. Now I can either share the link here, or I can click my share button and just grab the link as well right here. So you get a lot of options of how you want to share it. My book will eventually come up in the Kindle store. Or the search in Amazon. I am not worried about it. Just I published it about 2 weeks ago, so it's still taking a while to come through in the search console, but eventually it will come up. And you can share it, and then essentially you can come back and keep changing as you grow. You can promote, advertise at X-Ray. You can do all different things via KDP. And once you start actually bringing revenue in, you'll then can come over to reports at the top. And I had a sale last month, so someone did buy the book on the 21st, about the day after I published it. I did promote it on my social media, and I did get one sale. So it'll tell you what you've sold. And also, people can just read the book. So you can actually get KNEP reads that'll tell people that I had my book before. Someone read my book on February 6th, 39 pages. Someone read my book and read 1 page on February 11th. And someone on the 23rd read the book and read 9 pages from my previously published book. So it'll also show you who read the book based upon who bought the book. It's really kind of cool to see who's reading it, how many pages they've got through with all this digital technology. But that's start to finish how you can publish a book on Amazon for free using Kindle Create through KDP.